This is a Podfire production.
Welcome to the Two Cripples, One Pair of Legs podcast, where every fortnight, your hosts, Adam Sheppard and Natasha Price, take a long, hard look at the world through the eyes of two people who believe in grabbing life by the balls and squeezing tighter than Borat in a Mankini. The good, the bad, the often cringeworthy, but most importantly, the hilarity that can and often does ensue. If you're looking for fluffy sunshine and rainbows, My Little Pony meets Care Bears type of purity, you've probably come to the wrong place. If you're after good conversation, warped humour, quick wit, a touch of sarcasm, two proud people with disabilities with the no holes barred, leave no stump unturned outlook on life, welcome home. Awesome.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So I can't believe we're doing another podcast again already. These things seem to come along so quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though.
Episode number 4.
Is it? Oh, it's 4,
yes,
isn't it?
4, yeah.
Oh, it's 4. So we had 3 just go live yesterday. And this is...
Thanks to everyone watching, by the way.
Yes. And this is going out live on socials now, and then we'll the edited version, which is nowhere near as fun if the truth be told.
Yeah, the live and unedited version is much more fun. And in today's episode, we've got a wonderful guest. We've got us.
Carl and I. This is Carl Sullivan. Hey mate, how are you?
Hey guys, how are we doing?
Good, mate. Good. Mate, we go back a fair way, don't we? Like
big time.
We go back, and your family and your brother, and we go back
decades. I mean, we're not that old, but it's decades.
I know.
I should probably say something different about Adam, but that's fine.
But and so it's awesome to get you in here, mate, because obviously I've known what you do and whatnot, and we've been mates for a long time, as I say, along with family. So it's great to get you in here on the Two Cripples, One Pair of Legs. I better get the name in there because we haven't actually said the name.
This is true.
Podcast and have a chat, mate. So we'll get into having a chat to you about that in a bit. But we'll go to the first.
Are we not going to have a little bit of banter first? Come on.
Oh, well, okay, we can have a bit of banter if you want.
I can't think of anything to banter about. I mean, generally, I just give you a hard time, but
You do.
I am. So we've just come back from Japan and Singapore.
We have.
That's been interesting.
Yeah. You've been to Japan, haven't you?
Love it, yeah.
Yeah. How many times have you been to Japan now?
5 times.
5 times?
I can think of.
I'm not going to lie, I'm jealous.
Each time has been normally, I'd say, work, or there's been 2 times that I've fought.
Yeah.
And then we've taken a team over there or a couple of students.
Yeah, cool.
And we've had 2 holidays there, but I just absolutely love it.
Isn't it a cool
amazing.
place?
It's
great.
Yeah, the culture, the people, it's just absolutely amazing. So
we just found like everyone's just so friendly and it's just I could never get over. So we're in a place called Oita, which is southern right down the bottom or southern end of in Japan, and I just couldn't get over how clean the place was. Like it's just, not to mention, I was saying to you before we went live, not a bin to be found anywhere.
It's crazy how clean and tidy it is, but no bins.
Yeah.
No bins.
Yeah. But yeah, an amazing place. People are just sensational. Like just couldn't do enough for you. We were over there for the Oita International Wheelchair Race, which is a international wheelchair marathon, I should say, weren't we? Mm-hmm. It was phenomenal. Like just the event's been going for about 40 years, I think.
It was 42 years.
Yeah, and just so well put together. They've got 1,200 volunteers that helped put this thing together, and just just amazing. But we'll bang on a bit about that later.
Bang on a bit. Hopefully we'll just be talking and we won't bore people too much.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We'll start paying each other out.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's what we do. It's what we do. Yeah. No airs or graces in this podcast, So...
talking about airs and graces and watching what you say and whatever, I reckon this is a really good point for us to go into the social media.
The social media
takedown segment. Okay, this one, do you reckon?
Yeah, let's go with that button.
Nah, wrong. It was.
Is that a toilet flush?
Yeah,
try that one.
It's supposed to be a water cooler, but.
So, yeah.
Mate,
Oh,
that's
I
the
love
kind of music I reckon that you used to play back in
It
the day.
reminds me of the fundraiser that we did for you in school.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, we'll talk about it later. But
Yeah. We'll get in. Well, I'll have to tell you about that.
Interesting. I like the sound of this.
I'll tell you about that. So, social media takedown. So, so you know, I'm 40. You know, I've been there, done that, and you know, I've been on Facebook.
Been there and done what exactly?
Well,
I'm interested to know.
Well, you know,
yeah, man of the world.
man of the world.
keep going.
And yeah, I've been Facebook for a while and yeah, we use it for what we do a fair bit. And I found myself in a really unusual, uncharted waters situation yesterday. I got sanctioned on Facebook. I mean, I've got plenty of friends that have, you know, been totally banned and kicked off for 30 days and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, but I was sitting there doing stuff last night, and there's this little window at the bottom of my screen that says "You are restricted." I'm like, what?
But why?
Yeah, but what? And so, if you follow me on my own Facebook page and whatnot, you'll know I posted. When I came back from Japan, I thought, you know, I'm going to get my son, I'm going to get Fletch something really cool, and he's wanted a watch for ages. He's learning to tell the time and all this sort of stuff. So I bought him a Minions Fitbit, and
It's really cool.
It's really cool. And you know, literally the day he got it, like every 3 minutes, he's, Dad, how many steps now? How many steps now? You know, he's really getting into it. But anyway, he got this thing. So let me preface this by saying, Fletch comes home from school, walks to the front door, drops his Dax, so he's butt naked except for a shirt, and that's him for the rest of the afternoon. Like, anyway, I gave him this Fitbit, and he's like, I'm gonna go outside and have a run around. I'm like, dude, you got to put some clothes on. No. I'm like, dude, you got to put some. Okay, anyway, so he's out there doing laps of the driveway with nothing but a shirt on. I'm
Butt
like,
naked.
yeah, and he's like, I'm like, I'm going to test out this Fitbit. So yeah, he's like checking his steps and stuff, running up and down. And it's funny anyway.
So sorry, I'm just going to ask at this point. You know, little boy running around, bits flapping in the wind.
Oh, to be that open and free and carefree, I should say.
He's definitely your child. Has he been taking lessons from you?
Hey,
I picked it up from somewhere.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Hey, look, there's been no nudie runs done. I mean, no nudie runs.
Is that including Japan?
I mean, I sit on my ass all day. Yeah, well, yeah. I'd probably get arrested. Well,
the country doesn't count. You would get arrested in Japan.
Truth be told, I'd probably get arrested here, actually. But yeah, well, yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, poor little disabled boy."
Him again.
Yeah, him again. Oh, we know Adam. We know about him. So yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's what it was. I'd decided in my infinite wisdom that posting a photo, I blocked out bits and butt cheeks and all the rest of it. But I just thought it was hilarious. I thought it was innocent and it was funny, and I just thought it was funny. So I posted these photos with his stuff blocked out and whatnot. But I posted on Facebook, and anyway, Facebook Fun Police didn't like that very much, which and. In all honesty, I absolutely get that. Like, as much as from my side, it was an innocent thing to do, and I was just having a bit of fun, and I thought it was hilarious that he's just doing this nudie run, But there are, unfortunately, we live in a world where there are some creepy people, and
Let's just say those photos, they were funny, they were bloody hilarious. But I think that there was one photo in particular Facebook seemed to have a problem with, or somebody probably made a complaint about, and that was it was very funny.
Ban, though, isn't it? 24 hour
25 days.
25 days.
Yeah.
25 days. Yeah. Apparently, I did a good job at pissing some people off.
You're like me. If you're going to do it, you got to do
Mate,
it.
You got to do it the right way. I live by that.
There's no
live
halfway
by
house.
that. Yeah.
But it was a Fletcher in a starting position as if he's about to.
He was kneeling down, one hand on the ground,
with his butt crack on full show, with just all you can see is his trainers, his runners, and his t-shirt kind of going up, and his butt on show to the world. Now, yes, you put some funny emojis over his butt crack, but it was pretty obvious what was going on. and let's preface it with the fact that I did say that you might have some problems with that photo.
Fletcher, 15 years from now, if you're listening to this or watching this, I apologise.
Yeah.
But not really.
They were funny.
A cool
they were
18th
very
birthday
funny.
party. Gig
I
right
know.
there, right?
Yeah, I know,
And the
right?
story that goes with it.
Yes,
Yeah.
very, very true. But it's it's funny. Like I completely understand the reasoning behind photos like that being banned. At the end of the day, they're trying to keep children safe and from photos like that being distributed. However, it is really your parental choice to decide whether you're comfortable to post something like that online or not.
And in all honesty, I do things like that with the best of intentions, but sometimes when on second thought you think about things and you go, maybe that wasn't, that was I mean, it was amongst my closed group of, I wasn't putting it out in the general public, I guess, but yeah, no, it's one of those moments you take a minute and
Not sure about my wisdom there.
Yeah.
So have you ever found yourself banned or anything off social media?
Well, if I keep putting my socks in jandals, or Aussies say thongs, I mean, Nicole's threatened to ban me off Facebook and delete my account.
Oh,
You can't put that on there. And I was like, yeah, but it's funny.
on
Facebook.
On
yeah.
Facebook.
I'm a repeat offender like that. So.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Oh,
I
dear.
don't think I've ever been banned off Facebook for that stuff. Personally, I try and stay out of the political stuff.
Yeah.
And
I do,
any serious stuff, I kind of make a joke of it. And some people may get offended to that, but we use, social media is great for our family, friends, as well as training and to try and share that message. But sometimes I put real random stuff on there, and I think it's hilarious. But Nicole's like, dude, like, really?
Yeah.
She's like, do not tag me in that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is everyone so quiet? That's funny.
It's like,
She's like, no.
But no, it's not.
When you post stuff and you tag the partner in it or the business partner or, whatever, and then you hear the ding and you look across the room and you're just getting daggers from across the room.
It's not funny unless you tag them.
Yeah. That's your litmus test for, yeah.
But it's good to have a bit of fun on there as well.
Yeah,
and I guess as a dad, you think it's quite funny, and there's been, dramas with it. So, well. But I'm the same. I just try and have a bit of fun with it. But,
Yeah.
Awesome.
The one just thing really quickly, a few years ago, I got a warning on Facebook. So I can't actually say this is my first infringement. I posted, it was one of those might have been when we had fires or floods or something like that. And we had, how we've had those concerts where, all these great artists get together and they put on a concert to raise money for, rebuilds and all this sort of stuff. And I posted on Facebook something along the lines of, Aussies go through, fire and flood, Aussies, fuck it, let's just have a concert. Let's hold a concert,
Yeah.
True.
And I think I actually copped a warning for that one too. But
Really?
yeah, I don't understand that one. But that one I was like, get a grip.
Yeah.
It's what we do, Aussies.
Time.
It's true. If there's a natural disaster or a fundraiser or anything, we go
Aussies
out,
are like, fuck it, let's put some music together and
have a few beers.
yes, exactly.
Make a thing of it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, we better get into.
I think I might actually do a proper intro of.
Oh,
young
you
Carl
should.
Here. I've actually got something written down this week, which makes a change because I usually completely forget.
I'm going to hit the button.
Do it.
Go.
The water cooler. The water cooler.
Oh, it was good until I heard that.
Oh, that was.
And now you're thinking to yourself, oh damn it, I should have gone to the bathroom before coming on this podcast.
Yeah. Why did I get banned from Facebook? Oh, maybe that's got something to do with it. It's a creepiness factor.
Okay, right. So Carl Sullivan here is our guest today. He's a father, full contact fighter, karate teacher. He is a fitness trainer, life coach, nutrition coach, and speaker. He has many accolades and championships to his name. The list is a little bit too long to read here, but Carl did send us a wonderful list of things that we will talk about in a minute, but includes numerous Australian international championships. I loved the quote, which I found on Carl's dojo website, which said, my goal is to empower, educate, and support our students in every aspect of their training in a safe, controlled, and positive environment. Absolutely love that.
Oh,
so,
thank you.
Adam, you're the one with the questions.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on, guys. I've been stoked, and I know you got some questions, but hey to everyone watching as well. This is a really cool podcast, so jump on board and support this. It's a great project.
Thanks, bud.
And quickly, I was here last week, Wednesday last week. No one was here. The lights were off. If that doesn't show you I'm keen, nothing does. So jump on this. If you get asked to be on this podcast, which is an honour, don't turn up a week early.
That's so funny. You were messaging Adam, and
I'm sitting in
Adam's,
Changi Airport in Singapore.
We're in
Mate,
Singapore.
I'm in Singapore. What are you doing? Like, I'm doing a podcast. The power's off though, bro. So it's great to be here.
Very
So
funny.
thanks, guys.
Mate,
Really appreciate
all
it.
right.
It's awesome to have you here. We're
Yep.
we're really really stoked to be able to you're a great you're a busy man, so
Yeah.
no, we're stoked to have you here. So,
Thank you.
mate, karate. So you have Greenstone Health and Fitness.
Yeah, Greenstone Health. We do the fitness training, but we've got Greenstone Health Karate, which is obviously karate dojos or karate schools that we teach out of.
Yep.
And but Greenstone Health has been around for a few years now, and so we do karate and fitness training. Also coach kids and mentor kids as well. So we're on the Gold Coast.
That's it. Yeah, it's a great thing. Like I follow everything you guys do with Greenstone, and it's just amazing to see the kids right through to adults and everything that they're doing and stuff. And I watched a video the other day of a guy breaking some boards, and forgive, I'm a bit naive with the terminology and whatnot, but man, that was cool. It was cool to watch, just the focus and it was.
So that's an art that we do incorporate into the gradings, and when they get to a certain level, the students have got to show technique.
Yeah.
So the art's called tamashiwari, but it's the art of breaking. So it's an extension of the karate.
Okay.
And when they get to a certain level, they've got to break wooden boards or timber boards as well as roof tiles.
Yeah, cool.
So a lot of people can show the power and smash it, but it's about showing the technique and focus, and clearing the mind and overcoming that. So you've been at a grading all day long, up to 6 hours. You're buggered.
Yeah.
It's like a marathon, and then you've got to do this feat at the end, which is more of a personal one-on-one thing. You've got to overcome those fears. Am I going to break a finger, or is it not going to break? People are watching me. So to overcome that is pretty incredible to see, and I was really proud of the guys. So it was such a great day.
Cool.
We've got a mutual friend, Nathan Oliver.
He's a top guy.
A top guy, and him and his son and my son were friends at kindy and whatnot. And we've known each other a long time, and I was fortunate enough to be at one of his gradings, and just like by the end of it, like he was just spent, but he just powered through. It was so cool to watch. Like taking it to a completely another level. So what age did you get into karate?
10 years old is what I can remember.
Yeah.
I think I started with some martial art. I think it might have been judo. I think it was judo when I was 9.
Yeah, okay.
All I remember was being thrown around and just like, I want to punch someone. I was little. I was small and I was getting thrown around. I was like, I don't like this one.
Yeah.
We're doing the rolls and I was like, when can I punch and kick people and do things like that? So it was 10 when I first started karate. So and I've been doing it ever since.
That's really cool.
Yeah, 10 years old.
I can definitely relate to wanting to punch and kick people. I generally have that feeling around Adam.
I got news for you. Your legs don't work, therefore you cannot kick.
I should have brought the pads and just set up a boxing bag behind you guys. And if
I like that.
She
if
doesn't
he's
need.
not listening, you can punch the bag, and that way you don't.
She
break
doesn't
any
need the
ribs.
pad. She's got me to.
Is that right?
I'm just using you as my punching bag.
Yeah.
So you mentioned judo before. Was that your first sport?
Oh, I think I just had a couple of lessons, to be honest, but it was just turn up and roll around. And I remember setting the mats up, and they were those big rolly ones. So I think my older brother Jace, came along and did that with me. But it was when I was 10 was the start of the karate journey.
Yeah.
I remember doing that and just loved it. So
Did you do any sports before martial arts? Or
I tried in school, but when I was in school, I tried a bit of everything. Track and field and basketball and footy, and I just got into fights and footy and things like that. So my mates, I got mates like, they might watch this. We got mates from school like Hicker and Corey, and all those guys are like, bro, you're not on the team anymore. We love you, but you can't be on the team anymore. Why? Because you're starting fights. Like, you don't like people grabbing you and you're trying to do your techniques. I was like, I don't mean to. And they're like, no.
So it was kind of a natural progression, if you
I
will.
enjoyed it. Like, I played baseball. I tried a lot of different sports, but karate to me was. It was a passport to a better life. That was the emotional and the attachment, the spiritual thing for me was karate. It was a life changer.
Yeah. And
that's
I
going a
get
bit
that.
deeper, but
No.
starting off when I was 10 was my dad did karate. He was a black belt.
Uh-huh.
My older brother, Jason, did karate. So it was in the family.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And I guess you've had the benefit of seeing, what it gave your dad and gave your older brother and
Yep.
whatnot, and now obviously what it's giving you and what's giving your family, your kids, and that's awesome. So let's go back a way. What would Carl now give? What advice would Carl now give Carl of, say, 15?
Well, I'm 72 now, so that's a long way.
Bloody hell, you're looking good.
lots of needles and stuff in the face.
That's the
exercises
zen from
doing
the
that,
karate.
all that.
So the kid, I see students from years ago, Sensei, you've got grey hair. And I said, yeah, well, I've got kids now.
I know.
He did it, and he did it,
Oh,
and he did
I
it. But yeah, I'd probably say just don't be too hard on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like everything's a cycle, and you'll find a way, and don't take it too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think when you're younger, there's always this view that everything has to be now, and you're always in this rush to make things happen. And I think as you get older, you start to realize, yes, even though time you have left is getting shorter, there's also an understanding that things take time. So I think you take that pressure off yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the advice could either be, you're 17 years old, you can go back and say, look, buy some Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Good point.
Right.
Yeah.
Or, what's this thing called crypto? It's more like just don't be too hard on yourself. Like I look at it now, and I go back. I try and live in a grateful state.
Yep.
You know all about that.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you do as well, Tash. You know.
Yeah.
And so if you've got that perspective and in that grateful state, and you're trying to stay in the present and just be grateful, it's very, very hard to let those other emotions come in.
Yeah.
So I'm always going back and go, okay, well, when I was younger, what was I doing at that time? And I just look at where I'm now, and I'm so stoked.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be like, don't be too hard on yourself. It'll work out. You've got lots of time.
Yeah.
You know, at what you said, Tash, at the time, it's like, I've got to push, I've got to rush, I've got to do this, and everything's different, and then you evolve.
Yeah,
and then the wisdom comes in, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of at that. When you're at that age, it's kind of like, if you don't move now, the world's going to implode. Yeah.
And it's not, and I guess it's just that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's got a different journey, whether it's their upbringing, their background, the cycles, what they've been taught. When I was 17, I left school early, so a lot of our mates, or my mates, were 18, 19. I was 17. I jumped straight into work. I was washing dishes in a restaurant. I wanted to work. I was teaching karate and fighting all around Australia as well. So trying to do it all. Yeah. But no, that's the thing. So don't take it too seriously, and give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah.
So you said that you live in this grateful state. Is there anything that's shaped your ability to be able to do that? Because I think a lot of people find that perspective and that mindset really, really tough. And it can often be a result of, challenges and adversity or certain experiences in life. Has there been something that has shaped that for you?
Definitely family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In New Zealand and Māori, we say whānau. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely kids. You think you kind of know how the world's working until kids have come along. And, having Nicole as well in my life, and she's been in my life for decades. So having her and the kids, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it. And the other thing is the constant cycle of self-improvement.
Yeah.
And everyone's, you have your bad days, you have your flat days, but it's like staying in the present. So I guess it's just a combination of just training and working on my art and trying to keep constantly giving, and also just having my family and just being amongst that.
Yeah,
those
awesome.
Family and just trying to self-improvement.
Awesome.
That definitely works for me.
Yeah,
and it's an ongoing thing too.
Yeah,
it's easy for someone to say someone's they're really down and out. To us, it's not a big deal. But you say, come on, snap out of it. But you can't just do that.
No.
there's more knowledge these days, as you guys would agree. There's
100%.
people, my mate's in a worse position than you. What's your problem? But I've had the experience of decades with family members with depression, PTSD and things. So I'm kind of skilled up in that. So, but those definitely helped. Tash.
Yeah. Cool.
And just to digress for a moment too, you work a little bit through Greenstone and whatnot, you've done a little bit in that space as far as, men's groups and whatnot as well, haven't you?
Yeah, which we're really grateful for. Hopefully in 23 next year we can kind of build on that and work on that a little bit more. But we've done men's meetups in the past, and we saw that through COVID, as I was saying to Ziggy. I had 2 friends that were karate teachers that had kids that are no longer here.
Yeah,
wow.
And they were doing exactly what I was doing, teaching, everything, and they couldn't do karate anymore. And there's a lot of situations like that. So mental health and that, there's a little bit more knowledge about it as well, and training and ways to deal with it. So to me, karate's therapy. That's what I represent. 100%. Karate is, you can say, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a champion, I'm a fighter, but the real fight's internal.
Yeah,
the real fight's trying to be a parent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're just blessed that we can give back to the community. We do work for the Pacific Pines Studio Village Community Centre. Yeah. Also for Narang as well. So, yeah, I love doing that type of work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. It's funny, like we often can't go a day without our gym session. And like you say, it's your therapy. It's it's what you for you it's karate. For us, it's well, for me, I know anyway. I don't want to speak for you, but
but you know the answer.
But
anyway.
I know the answer to this anyway. But it's just having that routine of going to the gym and just throwing the headphones on and just focusing on yourself and breathing and just sorting yourself out for the day. And for me, the morning session's the best, because if I don't get my morning session in,
ain't that the truth?
The world feels off kilter if I don't get the gym in the morning.
Very true.
If it has to be in the afternoon, I'll survive. But it's just something. It's like the global axis is just shifted slightly.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. So you've been competing for quite a while. So your pre-competition routine is pretty, I would imagine, pretty set in stone.
Well, I don't call myself a master, but I'm an expert at getting beat up.
Awesome.
So that tells you how many decades I've been fighting for. I'm very good at getting hit. I started when I was probably about 12.
Yep.
I started karate when I was 10. By the time I was 13, I'd done my first junior black belt.
Yep.
But I think I started when I was 12, and the tournaments was an outlet. It was an outlet of expression of the energy that I had, what I had going on, and I haven't really stopped. Yeah, I've had a few years off, and I've had injuries, but I guess when I started when I was 12, and my last fight was last year. Yeah. So and it's been off and on since I was 12.
Yeah. And so you've got something big coming up in 2023?
Let's hope so, yeah. There was a couple of offers this year, but the timing didn't work out, and other stuff came up, and the time that I invest in it and what I do, I kind of turn into one of those obsessed people. And I'm kind of like you. I don't know about you, Tash, but I'll run it till the wheels fall off. And and
I am the worst for that.
I'll go full speed, and Nicole's like, I'll say, hey, I've got this, and she's like, what is it?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
What now? I run it past the family. Yeah. And, so next year, if there's a couple of offers and there's a couple of big tournaments, interstate as well as international, and if it feels right and it works good for my family, and it's worth it, and I'm excited and inspired, and I can inspire other people, then great.
Awesome.
So we'll see. But
sensational.
But there's definitely gigs coming up.
That's awesome.
Big time.
What's your preparation look like?
The last one was great. Just relaxing, food.
Yep.
I try and have a good routine. The fight camps I used to do when I was younger could go up to 4 months.
Yeah. Wow.
So if I'm fighting in Japan, it'll be 4 months, and try and live as close to an Olympian as you can.
Yeah.
The food's got to be specific. Training, strength, naturopath, strength conditioning, cardio, sparring, pad work, karate. But the last one was, say, between 5 and 8 weeks. That's all I need now.
Yep.
And because I will go pretty full on. So there's a team of people involved that are keeping me together. With duct tape.
I know.
Like, the shoulder's a problem. How old are you? Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
And the physio said, you're in incredible shape. It's a lot of mindset. And there's a lot of excuses, especially from ourselves. Yeah. So for me, Nicole's like, just go and stay. We've got 3 kids. You know, that's the real war. So 24 hours is in a hotel. Meals, stretching, had physio, fight a weigh-in, So I'm just relaxing, getting the meals in. I'm already fit. There's not much you can do in 24 hours.
Yeah, very true.
So it's just getting the mindset ready. And then I once again go back to that grateful state. I'm touching base with people.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the team. I'm relaxed. I'm just really happy to be there.
Yeah,
and you've got to put a show on. It's not personal. It's business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are coming to watch. People are paying tickets. I'm getting paid to do it. So I want to put on the best show I can and do it the right way and inspire people. And I'm just in chilling, eat meals, do some stretching, keep the cardio up. We've got a system so that I won't get lazy. So 24 hours before a fight, I won't stop.
Yep.
I'll keep the system moving, and then we'll redline at the show.
Yep. Okay.
So we'll blow the engine at the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
And sauna, if you've got a pool, stretching, meals, supplements, and things like that.
Awesome. Your nutrition prior to, obviously, your nutrition is pretty on point all the time. Well, most of the time. I'm sure it is.
It's
most
horrible.
Does
the students go, they give me a Christmas card and they go, we hope you get lots of pizza. Because that's all I talk about.
That's
I
awesome.
I drink coffee and eat pizza. But, dude, why are you training so much? Because I love food. So I'm a piglet.
Trained to eat.
Yeah, but when I compete or when we've got a grading coming up or when we've got events for the dojo or things that are of importance, I try and tidy the meals up and the food up.
Yeah.
I've got a great naturopath, Rochelle. My naturopath is amazing. And Nicole's onto it as well. That's my other half.
Yeah.
And we're really passionate about health.
Yeah.
So, we do take supplements that help us from vitamins to fruit and vegetable stuff to omega-3 oils. So I try and maintain that consistency.
Yep.
But I love my food and I pig out. I don't smoke or drink. No. But my food, I love pigging out. But tournament stuff and when I've got a show on, yes, it's very strict. So I just try and get in the good proteins, fruit, veg, lay off the bad stuff, no takeaways.
See, this is the problem with me competing 12 months of the year is I never get that chance to actually take any off time and eat.
You
So
maintain all that?
I maintain
That's a
a
lot of
strict
discipline.
diet
That's a
for
lot.
12 months of the year, and
Amazing.
I really shouldn't because it does my head in.
Well, it's quite funny because we'll go past a restaurant or a dessert bar or something that looks really good, and we're like, you know what? Post race one day, we're gonna go there, and it just never actually happens because it's always on.
Yeah.
And
I guess it's whatever suits your routine. I also know fighters that like to stay. See, I train most days. Sundays I may not train. The weekends it slows down, but I've got my gi or my uniform on every day, and I'm doing something, and that's part of my mental health. But if you're an athlete, I know guys that train all year round, and they say we're always ready.
Yep.
And they've been fighting, when you've had injuries and you've had rehab and stuff, to push the body the way I train, I can't maintain that type of training.
Yeah, fair enough.
So if I'm fighting once a year or once every 2 years, then I kind of have my I make it seasonal.
Yeah.
It's more for mental, and it takes the pressure off my family.
Yeah.
When I was doing
It's the best way to do things by far.
and then some fighters go, look, it's too hard. If I'm out of shape, I've got to pick up the pieces and really go for it. For me, it doesn't take me long to go, as I said, 5 to 8 weeks, and I can just change gears.
Yeah, awesome.
But it depends on the sport.
Yeah.
For me, it might take us months to heal. We fight bare knuckle, no pads. It's full contact the body. I couldn't open up a jar of peanut butter for weeks after fighting. The fingers are blown up, the hands, and you can prepare for it. It's like nominating yourself to go into a car crash and saying, we're going to do what speed? All right, ready? Put your mouth guard in, boom, run into another car.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
That's really interesting. The mental strength and resilience it must take to know that you're going to be feeling that level of pain and discomfort afterwards. That takes a very, very strong mind.
Adrenaline kicks in, and there's some amazing fighters on the Gold Coast, and but you do put your body through that. There's a lot of conditioning, but for me, this is the part that people don't really get. That's the holiday part of it. Yeah, that was always easy.
Yeah,
the training, because I loved it. The training was easy. It was balancing the kids, getting to school. Can you put your school clothes on 42 times? And
I know that one.
Fighting someone and getting paid to
Will
go
you
in there.
please put some pants on, Fletcher? I mean, what?
No, okay, I'm taking the pictures anyway, and then Dad's in trouble. But so the training for me personally, I'm not speaking for anyone else. The training was easy.
Yeah,
the journey, it's all part of the journey. I loved it. I love that pain. I love that space.
Yep.
A lot of fighters were scared of that, but and I love going in there and fighting. That was therapy. That was a way for me to express what I felt. So, but it was the father stuff. It's the bookings. It's the balancing the family and trying to keep that together.
Yeah.
And then the hard work is done behind the scenes by Nicole and the kids and your family picking up the pieces and pushing you.
Yeah, while you're doing what you're doing.
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
journey. You
Yeah,
know, as I
yeah.
said, when I won in Japan in 2012, and Channel 10 came in and said, so how does it feel to be the champion? And I said, well, I was overseas fighting people, but Nicole was here fighting with the kids.
Who's got the easier job?
I had a break.
So you see a lot of athletes will have things that they absolutely no holds barred have to do prior to a competition. It might be, I guess, say superstition. So like, wearing the same socks or wearing the same, pair of jocks or, like a superstition that they have to do or, take part in prior to competition. Ritual. Yeah, exactly. Have you got is there anything like that going on for you?
Yeah. One of them's asleep.
Yeah.
I like nana naps.
Yeah.
I'll put my hand up. And so if I can get in, Nicole reckons I can sleep standing up. So
I'm not very good at that.
I was going to say, we're no good at that.
Right? So I can do that. And the other thing is I've got songs that bring up emotions.
Yep.
And emotions are good to trigger.
Yeah.
You know, so you listen to a song, you get fired up. I've got a few songs. One's my walkout one that I use. And but having a nana nap and just relaxing.
Yeah,
so
cool.
when I was fighting overseas, I mean, you'd get there in the morning and you've got weigh-in, it's a big thing, and you're waiting around all day. I would try and find a spot to go lay down, have a sleep.
Yeah.
And then when you need to change gears and get ready, you get ready. But you warm up in the morning, you rest, you warm up again, you're tired, you're exhausted. So for me, having a nana nap, before the last show, the weigh-in was done on the Friday night. So Saturday was just organise my meals, go back, have a nana nap, have a sleep. Nicole's like, you're going to a hotel, no kids, so you can have a nana nap, have a sleep, and you'll fight really well. And it worked.
Yeah, good.
So that's kind of what I do.
Yeah,
so,
awesome. Yeah, okay, awesome. So standout moments in your in karate for you so far?
I'd have to say the one that's most recent was doing an intervention program with young kids.
Yeah.
And helping to change their lives with karate.
Yeah.
And I did it in one of the local schools on the Gold Coast. And I did a program, and the feedback and the change in these kids, and I won't say too many details, but say there's 10 of the kids that were getting in trouble the most.
Yeah.
And from small stuff to really heavy stuff, suspended,
Wow.
borderline expelled, and nothing else worked. And I went in and did this program, and the joy and the what I felt, the gratitude I had when I finished that project was on another level. And I fought in Japan, I fought in all around Australia, and so that's a standout. And in 23 next year, I'm hoping to do a lot more of that.
Yeah,
I
awesome.
teach kids karate each week, but that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They make a difference before they get to these teenage years.
Yeah.
These are kids that might slip through the cracks.
And it's cool when you can see, you can literally see that transformation in front of you. Like you can see that change is happening. It's pretty.
And that was, and then obviously it's my family.
Yeah.
You know, I remember all the fights that I've won, but the most important lessons I've ever had are the ones that I've lost.
Yep.
So you fly to Japan and you don't make the finals, you know, and what did I get out of that? And some amazing lessons, but obviously it's my family. Like when Nicole won the Gold Coast tournament, she won the women's full contact.
Yeah.
First tournament, she's behind backstage, upset. You know, and I said, she goes, how many more fights? I said, you've got one more. She had 2 more fights. I've never been good at counting. So whoever's watching, send me some tips on how to use a calculator. She won that, not an Australian title, but Gold Coast Championship full contact fighting, first tournament.
That's epic.
Keegan's an Australian champion, my 18-year-old. My son, Tane, he's an Australian champion. Those wins, and then my daughter just won a Gold Coast tournament. She's 6 years old. So for them all to win tournaments, I don't know if it means more to me.
Yeah.
But people say, oh, you've won an Australian champion. I said, oh, you won an Australian title, you're the best. I said, I didn't fight everyone in Australia. That's a lot of fights.
Yeah. I'd still be there.
Yeah, I get beaten up. So, that means a lot. And I did that because I wanted to and I loved it. But the ones that are on the heart is family.
Yep.
And then making a difference to these 7-year-olds, between 7 and 9-year-olds, to make an impact and teach them a little bit about karate and as an art. And to help them hopefully through life. That was pretty cool. So those are the ones that come to mind.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So if we go back to 2015, that was 2015 was a pretty rough, I guess you could say, year for you as far as injury, and you had some hip issues and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yep. So I fought in 2012. We had the opportunity to go to Japan and fight, and I fought in 2012. That was really successful. I won in Japan. Fought in 2 tournaments. Came back And then I had a bit of a rest. I thought, well, I'll just chill, focus on clients and training and family, catch up with the family. 2014, I fought again in the Australian titles in Sydney and felt great. Fight camp, got an invite to want to fight in Sydney. And I fought, at the time, he was the current heavyweight champion. I didn't know. I'd cut for middleweight a lot. I dropped a lot of weight. And I went to the tournament. They said, there's no middleweights. I said, well, all right, fight the heavyweights. Fight the big boys. Hopefully they're slower. He wasn't slower. No. He was faster than me.
Oh, Jesus.
And so I got runner-up in that tournament. Epic, brutal match. And anyway, I just thought I'd do the same thing. I'll just maintain training and pull back. Oh, I had some problems. I thought I had something like really bad going on in the hips and leg. And I just said to Nicole, I haven't felt this pain before, so it was stressful. We got the checks and they said, we found cyst in the hips and you've got damaged labrum tears, you've got bone spurs, it's a mess. Wow. So I had to put everything on the back burner. I had another gig in Scotland. I was supposed to fight in Scotland back then too and go to the UK. Never been to the UK. Put that on hold and it took 2 years to get 2 major hip surgeries done. Yeah. So, I had my right side done and that was my left side done, which was 5 hours. Yep. And then I said, do them at once. Do them both, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, one speed. Just get it done out of the way.
Just get it done. Yeah.
No one's done that before. Yeah, well, we'll be the first.
I'm
okay.
I'll be right.
So they did the left one. I think there was 6 months or within the year. Yeah. And then right side. Anyway, I was just grateful to get it done. So I'm up trying to do dishes and things like that straight after. And so around that time was pretty painful. I got it done. I was just stoked to get it done. Yeah. So a lot of injuries. Yeah. And then I'm on the second surgery and I'm in hospital and I was like, hey, are you going? I didn't post anything. I was like, it's a private journey. This is a holiday for me. Yeah. And they said, why is it a holiday? I said, well, I've got no kids. So I've got a hotel. And they said, it's a hospital. I said, I got a TV though and free food. Yeah. So I had the night off. Yeah. And I had the surgery. It was painful, but I didn't have any kids hassling me. Nicole's like, do you want us to come up and visit? No, thanks, babe.
I'm good.
I'm okay.
No,
I'll be right.
I'm off my face on pain medication.
This is great.
Yeah.
And the kids were younger then. Yeah. And I'm on my phone checking emails and I got this thing and I'm reading it properly. It's like fighting Japan world title. And I just said, yes. And the next day I'm like sobered up from the medication and I'm reading through these emails again. Oh no, I've just said yes. Sensei Carl, would you like to compete in the world titles in Japan? And would you like to represent New Zealand? Because I've represented Australia as well, but I'm born in New Zealand. And they said, would you like to represent New Zealand? I said, yes. And then I told Nicole the next day, and she goes, "You what?"
I was going to say,
how did that
go down with Nicole?
I just had the right hip, and it was like 4 months away, and I still was in hospital. So that was the next big gig. Was out of hospital, into rehab, and within 4 months I was back in Japan fighting in the Worlds. Wow. After double hip surgery within a year.
Oh, so my next question was actually going to be about your mindset during that time, dealing with all those injuries and the hospital visits and all that sort of stuff. I mean, like you were saying, you were in hospital and you were kind of like, for you it was a bit of time. Obviously there was a fair bit of pain and, that sort of thing will slow you up for a little while, but it was a bit of a break for you, a bit of a chance to almost slow down a little bit.
Yeah, I think sometimes in life these things force us to take a step back. And for me, it was about a quick way to recover. Yeah. And how can I inspire these people? What a cool story. Yeah. The surgeon's like looking at me going, when's this tournament? And I found a really good physio in the hospital and it was part of the condition. He goes, well, we're not going to sign any forms. If you have any problems with your hips, then you can forget about it, but you've got to come in and do 8 to 9 weeks of physio, learn how to walk properly again. And he said, you want to go to this tournament and fight full contact in Japan, you've got to learn how to walk properly? I said, yeah, I can do it. But the physio was like, yeah, well, you've got to listen to me, otherwise I'm not going to help you. Yeah. And I just thought it was a great way I had the opportunity. Yep. And I just thought I'd go for it. And awesome. It took Nicole a couple of days and she was sweet.
Yeah. So how many days were you sleeping on the couch?
I'm still on the couch. I got a spare room, upgraded to a spare room. So, so that was an incredible journey. It's not something I'd repeat and recommend. No. But hey, that's just kind of shows that, for me, it was just full steam ahead. Yeah. And I just look at, hopefully some people look at it and go, wow, that was pretty cool. Yeah. And my kids go, well, if Dad can do that and really push forward and have no excuses and do what he loves, then it's not going to stop me from pushing forward.
Yeah.
Especially when other people tell you can't. And how many times have we had that?
Yeah, 100. And we
Surgeons,
get it.
doctors, physios, some of the physios, people do. You can't do that. Why don't you just settle down and just be happy with what you've got? And but for me, I just push. I don't know any other way.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. So inclusion in karate. So, Tash and I were all about, accessibility and inclusion. Do you see much in the way of, kids with disabilities and that sort of thing come through karate at all?
Yeah, it's everyone's got their own opinion on it, but for me, with what we do with Greenstone, is we may get parents come in and they'll talk to us about, oh, my child's got this going on and this going on, and they're medicated and they've got this, and I'll turn around and say, oh, they've got superpowers.
Yeah.
I'm the pin-up boy for mental health.
Yeah.
I've got everything you can possibly think of, plus AAA batteries on top.
Love it.
So whatever medication was needed, I got dealt with a kick in the bum and everything else that went with it. So I diagnose myself. So when the kids come in, there seems to be a bit of stigma about kids with certain things going on.
Yeah.
With conditions or what they've been labelled with, and we're very open to it.
Yeah.
If the kid comes in and he or she doesn't like the group environment, then they can do some private sessions with me until they can move comfortably into a group situation.
Yeah,
but
that's awesome.
Certain dojos may say, "Oh, look, unfortunately, we can't.
Yeah,
we can't get this boy in or this girl in because they're autistic or they've got this or that." And then they might come in and I've trained kids that have got on crutches and. We're yet to have someone actually wheel into the dojo, so I'm going to book you in for 23, by the way.
I'm in. Count me in.
You know what? How cool is that? I've never had it, and the door's open. I know I've put a sign up, but it's an open invite to anyone to come in, and maybe we should do a class. Yeah. And you guys come in, punch me in the body. I'm very good at getting punched in the stomach. And we have a karate class for exactly what you're talking about, because I think it should be an open.
It should.
Let's do it. That sounds fun.
That sounds fun. Sounds really good.
So I think that's what karate should be for everyone.
Yeah.
And people think that karate's for the strong. It's not. It's karate can be strong, but we're not. Karate's about community. It's about therapy. It's about healing and giving back. And the more people we get in and do it and inspire others, and if it gets that person that's drinking too much or doing this or doing that off the couch into the dojo, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so we've got...
hang on. I've just thought of one question I want to ask.
Oh, okay, go for it.
I know, I talk too much.
No, it's all good. I have one question. I was reading on the website that you started teaching people karate at the age of 12.
Yeah, correct.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah.
How did that feel to be teaching people that were obviously much older than you?
I was really, really... nervous.
Yeah, I bet.
And I still get nervous driving to the dojo to karate. And kids are like, oh, we're nervous, we've got a grading, we've got a tournament. When I'm going into a fight, I'm excited, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
But I know what I'm getting into and I'm just happy to be there. But when I started when I was 10, by the time I was 12, I just loved it. I was doing as many classes as I could. I think I had natural talent, but I worked.
Yeah.
And you guys can probably relate, people say good luck. I don't believe in luck.
No.
I believe in putting the work in, and some people have got natural talent.
Yep.
And some people love it more than others, and some people work harder.
Yep.
For me, I think I had natural talent.
Yep.
And then if I didn't have it to this level of other people, then I would work harder.
Yeah.
I'd do more. I'd turn up, and I loved it more. So by the time I was 12, I was kind of not leading the class, but I had good technique.
Yeah.
And I turned up to class one time. Mum drove me to karate, and she's a big factor why I'm where I am. She took me to karate.
Your mum's good people.
She's beautiful,
yeah,
and
awesome.
There was always love, and she's a hard worker. I get my work ethic from my mother. So if she's watching, thank you for that, Daisy. So I turned up to class, and everyone's like, where's the instructor? He wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I won't get into the details, just in case he's watching, and big respect to him, but I won't get into the details. But he wasn't there, and he had stuff going on, and everyone's like, you're it. So I had literally 5 minutes, maybe 10, I don't know, to write down what I wanted to take the students through on my hand in pen. And I was I'm shaking.
Yeah.
And by the time I did the warm-up, it was all gone.
Yeah.
Sweaty palms, all my stuff was gone. And I just ad-libbed. But as soon as I started seeing everyone happy and the feeling of giving some value and making a difference, all the nerves went,
Yeah.
And I was giving.
as it
Yeah.
does.
And that time, at that age, I wasn't in a good place.
Mm-hmm.
I'd come from a background that wasn't good,
Yeah.
and I had a lot of stuff going on, and I didn't like myself at all. But when I started teaching that's when this came in, and I was like, geez, I like myself. I'm good. I'm good at something.
It's really funny how giving back in whatever way that means to you, giving back can actually make you a happier person on the inside and have such a wonderful snowball effect on your life, not just the people's whose lives that you're trying to affect, but on your own as well.
Good
So,
point.
yeah.
So that's how that started, and I kind of haven't stopped. And I fell in love with giving back, and that's what it means to me about teaching. So I haven't stopped. And
That's awesome. And you saying before about you putting in the work and whatnot. I think there's a certain amount of confidence. There's a lot that can happen on the day and whatnot. But when you go into something knowing that you've put the work in and you've basically covered every base that you can do, you can certainly go into something with a whole lot of more confidence than otherwise. Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah. All right. So this is our six questions that we ask all our guests.
Yes.
Some quick, a little bit random.
Very quick fire.
Quick fire. If you could spend 24 hours in the body of someone else, dead or alive, who would it be?
John Wick.
John Wick.
I love it. Love it.
That was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Next. He's cool. He's very
John,
cool.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. What food or what one food would you never, under any circumstances, eat?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh.
I kind of got that impression. I was like, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. But
I thought it was going to be the what can I eat? I'm not sure. I'm pretty good with food, but
Cool.
yeah.
What's at the top of Carl Sullivan's bucket list?
Let's just say that the bucket list would be to I've got to get my book done.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Love it.
That's a book I
that-
want to.
Love it.
Yeah. That's nearly 10 years in the making, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Bucket list is to it's just to travel more with the family.
Yep.
Big
Awesome.
time. Create experiences.
Mhm.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yep.
We talk about that a lot, and I talk a lot about that with Fletcher too, my son. Because in the end, life is all about different experiences and learning. You're learning through those experiences, isn't it? So, yeah,
Big time.
So, which celebrity could you see yourself being besties with?
I really like Keith Urban.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is going to be like all the country people are. But he's just so cool, and I love his journey. He's a great musician, and I think he's really one of those good guys.
He
he's been
seems
through
like a
lot.
nice bloke.
You look at the journey and the addiction and everything else, and turn around and what he does. He just seems to be one of those cool cats that you can just.
100%.
He just came to mind, and you can think of a lot of other guys like Hugh Jackman and these guys.
He's mine.
Like how cool are they?
Yeah, 100%.
Someone approachable like that. And then there's a lot of other guys that I'd like to hang around with and hang out with, but you see those guys and they're pretty cool,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Hugh Jackman because in our very first podcast episode, we basically asked each other those questions and Hugh Jackman was mine. Yeah, for the same reason as you with Keith Urban. He's just a cool guy and seems very approachable.
I think part of me is probably saying Keith Urban because Nicole will not let me play his music in the house. She goes, I'm going to go to the gym. Can you have the kids? And yeah, go for it. Music goes on. What time are you going to be home? Music off. She's back.
Okay. Next question. What's one thing you would do if fear wasn't a factor?
Skydiving.
Yes.
Now I've got mates. Oh, you can do a tournament and get busted up and let people punch you, and sometimes people have got to go to the hospital, but you won't go skydiving. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but maybe that's just something I've got to do. But I'm actually I'm not interested out of fear.
Yep.
And I could bring up the excuses why, but that's why I haven't done it.
Yeah,
and
no,
I don't like the sound of it, to be honest. So that would be probably one of the things. Yeah,
it's funny you say that because mine was also skydiving.
Is it?
It's funny. So, have you ever done indoor fly?
No.
One day I'll get.
When are we going,
mate? I will hook you up. We will make it happen.
We go every week. It's so much fun.
My son's had a go at it, but because it's just one of those things, and so that came to mind.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, no, I'm exactly the same. Jumping about a perfectly good plane holds no interest to me. But yeah, all right, I'm setting it up. We're going to do ice fly.
Sweet.
Yep.
And like anything that you fear, you attack, and that's the thing.
100%.
Skydiving, straight to mind.
Yeah. Maybe we could do some kind of episode out of iFly. And yeah. Okay. What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I've had a lot of great mentors over the years, but I don't know. I think forgiveness is a big thing.
Yep.
Just keep moving forward and never quit. And
Love
there's a lot of advice, but
Love it.
I try and live by that. But for me, forgiveness is everything. You've got the choice not to forget, and that's a personal thing and sometimes personal space. But yeah, just to keep moving forward no matter what. We use the term us, and it's on the shirt. Is to push and endure.
Yep.
It's broken down from 2 Japanese words, but that's the shortened version. Is to push and endure or never quit. So I guess I follow that by what we try and do.
Yeah.
And that could be real general as well.
Yeah.
But you can give someone a saying to remember, but to me is to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Perfect.
Mate, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Mate, this has been absolutely sensational. We've it's been a phenomenal
It's
interview.
gone quick, and I just thought, geez, we could keep going on and on. Is this part one?
I know. It needs to be a 10-parter, this one.
Ruby and Ziggy, you might have to split this one up a little bit, but over two.
Oh,
but
thanks, Tash.
Thank
Thanks,
you very much for having. Well, no, I was going to say thank you very much for having us, but that's the wrong way
no,
around.
No, likewise.
We had you.
I know what you
we
mean.
run.
God, that
We
sounds
run this
terrible.
shit. No.
Yeah, this was it's a real honour. And when Adam messaged me, and I've had a couple of offers and things come up, and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to do this? You want to? Oh, yeah, one day. But when you message me, I mean, you probably hear it a lot, and you too, Tash, is that you guys inspire me
Thanks, man.
just as much as what I inspire others,
Yeah,
regardless
thank
of what
you.
I've done and what I've achieved, whatever. But and that goes back to school, and it was always when I was having a bad day, then you and I would always have a great chat.
Yeah.
And I used to do that to other people.
Yeah.
And we had this great resilience and way of dealing with people. And my little brother is the same.
Yeah.
70 major operations, and the dude that would sit there and listen to anyone.
Yeah.
So to come in here and chat to you guys, and you guys inspire me,
Thank
not
you.
just for your
Thanks,
work
man.
ethic, but your athletics and what you do in your sport. You guys are high performers.
Thanks, man.
Try to be.
We try to be.
And now to give back and share the love,
Yeah.
and for me to
Thank
come in
you.
and be a part of it, it's a blessing. So I really appreciate it, and thanks to everyone watching, and be a part of this podcast. It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's
It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll talk to you again soon.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Like 2 cripples using a beach towel to skydive, this could go anywhere. Welcome to the soapbox session. How is it that I suck so much at pressing buttons? Like,
You push my buttons constantly. I'm not sure why you're so bad at
the
this.
feeling is mutual.
It's all right. I was the one that got it wrong to start with. So today's soapbox session, we are going to chat a little bit about something that you and I feel both very, very strongly about.
We do. It's not a rant, and it's not a. This is not us tipping shit on people.
No,
It's
not at all.
I guess it's a bit of a public service announcement in a way.
Yes, it is.
We quite often, you and I will be out. We'll be at the shops, or we'll be out somewhere, and you'll hear this. You'll hear a little 4, 5, 6-year-old go, "Mum, look at that man in the wheelchair." And you turn around and you see mum grabbing this kid's arm and,
Dragging them
drag
off
him
and,
away. I'm just like,
head in their hand, no, hand in their head, head in their hands, and just kind of embarrassed and worried that it's some kind of problem that the kids pointed out that we're in a wheelchair.
yeah. But so this is why we want to have a chat about this one. We love it when kids come up and talk to us. I make a point of, whenever I hear that, I actually going up and, I might give, the kid a little bit of a fist bump or
or a
high
high
five
five.
or something like that, because what that is, it literally could be, it might not be, but that could be their very first ever interaction with somebody with a disability.
And that's the case for so many people. And I think kids are really shaped by that experience. If a parent drags a child away or makes them feel like they've done something wrong, that child's initial thoughts and opinions of speaking to somebody with a disability will be that it's a bad thing. And that breeds fear of disability. It breeds unconscious bias. And this isn't me placing judgment on anyone, because everybody has their reasons for it, because they don't want to hurt or offend anyone. But it's ableism in a very, very, it's not intentional. It's not someone going out of their way because they're actually thinking that they're being kind by doing that. But it's making that assumption that a person in a wheelchair that has a disability would be hurt or offended or upset or worried about talking about their situation or ashamed of being in a wheelchair. And that's not the case. It's part of us. It's part of our lives. And kids are only ever going to learn and only ever going to feel okay with disability if they're able to talk about it openly and just see it as a normal thing.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I love is that, kids are born, young kids, my son included, Mr. 5, has such an open mind and is, such an innocent way of looking at things and such a curiosity about life than just, that old thing of, kids being sponges. They are, they want to learn and they want to understand why. And somewhere along the way, we fuck that up for them by squashing it. Life quashes it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's awful to
see.
see.
And we as adults place our own biases and opinions and fears and all those other things on children that shouldn't have to feel that or be exposed to that. Let them ask questions. Let them come and talk to us. And I'm sure if the person that they're speaking to isn't comfortable with it, they would let you know. But for the most part,
we love it. If you see us, come and talk to us.
Especially us, we'll talk to anyone.
Yeah, well, I will.
Especially you.
Yeah, I know.
But guys, you want kids' first experience of disability to be a positive one. We want that. We want kids to be okay with disability, and the only way that's ever going to happen is if they have the opportunities to interact with people with disabilities. Remember when we took Fletcher to athletics the first time and we were pushing around the field with him and we were walking back over to the grandstand and he's like, Daddy, Tashi, why are all those people staring at you? And you explained to him.
I said to him, there are Fletcher's. I love it because he just thinks that everyone knows somebody who uses a wheelchair or somebody. Everyone knows somebody who's got some form of disability. Because
we've got such a huge network of people in our lives that are in wheelchairs. There's obviously you and I, but, JC and all the other people that Fletcher knows and meets on a regular basis. So disability to him is just normal. It's just part of life. But he just didn't have an understanding when you explained that people lots of people aren't exposed to disability that don't know wheelchair users.
It was so interesting having that conversation with him, saying, you know what, some kids have gotten to whatever point in their life. Some adults, some grown-ups have gotten to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years old and literally never had contact with somebody with a disability, wheelchair user or otherwise. Human nature is for people to stare. So, we talk a lot about, disability not being a thing, and it just everyone being just communicating and stuff like that. And
speaking words,
man, we're going overtime on this one. My brain's starting to shut down. But we talk a lot about disability not being a thing and it just being accepted and it
just being normal and just part of life, because it is, and it's never going to be that way if we don't allow children to have an experience, a positive experiences of disability from a young age.
Exactly. And we talk a lot about, I talk about, growing up as a kid with a disability and, whether, and kids growing up and having somebody to look up to that's like them, because, we're in a situation where, back in my day, there wasn't people in the media and whatnot Back in my day, there I go making myself sound
you are old.
old.
But yeah, you can't be what you can't see.
Exactly.
So anyone can become disabled at any point in their lives.
Yep.
So it's very important for people to have a good experience of disability from a young age.
Agreed. So there. So parents, please, don't shy away from letting your kids interact and speak with people with disabilities, particularly if it's us, because we love it.
Now I've got to say. I'm gonna point something out now. Oh no! It's okay. I want to lead this moron of the day section. Just a second ago, you were having problems.
We've talked. No.
I want to take the moron of the day segment off on a slightly different tangent, especially after your show just a moment ago of not being able to get your words out. You'll understand in just a minute why.
This was not discussed in the pre.
But this is going to be fun. Trust me, guys. This is going to be fun. Moron of the day. Which button are we going to go for? Right, this one, do you reckon, or that one?
You're about to give me shit.
I'm the moron.
It's the moron of the day.
Oh, man.
So today's moron is going to be said moron next to me.
Oh, what?
I know. Look, I like
I resemble that remark.
as most people watching and listening will know, I like to give you a hard time, and you have given me the perfect opportunity to give you a hard time, young Adam.
Uh-oh.
So
I feel like this is going to go south very, very quickly.
Well, actually, it's going north. So in last week, whilst we were in Japan, we learnt 2 Japanese words.
Yes. Konnichiwa, arigato.
Okay, yes, and which is hello and thank you.
Yes.
Yet, Adam, you know what I'm going to say right now,
yes.
aren't you?
Yeah.
Every time somebody said konnichiwa to you, which is hello, you would respond with
arigato.
Thank you, instead of saying hello back. And vice versa, when someone said thank you to you, you would respond with
konnichiwa.
Hello. So you were getting some very, very random looks.
And the worst part about it was, after 4 days of being in Japan, it didn't get any better. I still cocked it up at every opportunity. So you know what? I'm on this occasion, on this day, I'm going to own this moron of the day. I'm okay with it. I deserved it.
You were in fact a moron for 5 days.
But you know what? I was in another country, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah, this is true. I've got to admit, it was very funny. Every single time you did it, I would just be pissing myself laughing. Yes.
At first it was I'd say the wrong thing. She was like, wrong one.
And then by the end I was just laughing.
Yeah.
Very, very funny.
Oh, I've done it again.
But the funny thing was that the 2 words you do know, you actually spoke them very well, and they may have been said in the wrong context. On a few occasions, people tried to actually speak Japanese to you.
It was hilarious. I'd like on the few occasions I actually got it right. Whatever I did, I was obviously doing pretty well, because they were trying to carry on more conversation with me. And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know what you're saying.
And we were in a part of Japan that's not a really a touristy area. We met a lot of people that spoke a decent amount of English, but out on the street and roaming around and whatnot, there wasn't.
No.
You'd say konnichiwa, and then people would try and carry on a conversation. I'm like, I don't fucking know what you're trying to tell me.
But we've got to say, Google Translate, what a absolute lifesaver.
Thank you, Mr. Google. I was going to say Dr. Google, but we didn't need Dr. Google, thankfully.
But yeah, Google Translate, how beautiful is that? We went to a Buddhist shrine.
Ah, amazing.
Most spectacular place imaginable. And when we got there was a monk up doing a blessing, a ceremony, and chanting, and it was just.
Well, I'll post some photos on the Facebook page and the Instagram page.
Absolutely, and we have a video of this of the.
Are we allowed to post that?
Yes, we are.
We are.
Yeah,
okay,
we are.
I'm just Yeah. I don't want to upset any Japanese people.
No, it was taken from behind, and it's we're allowed to do that. Yeah. But anyway, we went and had a conversation with this monk afterwards. This just the loveliest guy, and he did not speak a word of English, like absolutely nothing. So we just grabbed out Google Translate, spoke into the app, and it came back to. He spoke into the app, and then it all came back to us in English. I mean, how fantastic is that?
It was so cool.
I've travelled all over the world my whole life. It's I've done extensive travelling, and I've always loved it. And I've been lots and lots of places where English has not been a much spoken language. And how much I would have loved something like that back in my younger years when I was trying to travel into some non-English speaking countries where I have no knowledge of the language. So it was fantastic. What a great thing that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
Mr.
Moron here.
Seriously, like 20 years ago, before Mr. Google and Google Translate, I would have my 2 words of Japanese would have. I'm sure they would have served me well, but I think I probably would have had to put more effort into finding more.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
So
anyway, talking about the guys of Japan, we have the kindness virus.
Try that one.
The kindness virus.
The kindness virus.
The kindness virus.
So for the kindness virus today, and as you who've seen our podcast before and listened or watched or whatnot, it's basically a shout out to amazing people or amazing groups or that organisations that we come across, and we thought it only fitting because we've just come back from Japan and had such an amazing experience that we made a shout out to the awesome people of Japan.
The Japanese people, wow.
Yes.
If any of our Japanese friends are watching that we mowed over there in Oita, you guys.
Did you say mowed over? I hope we didn't mow over anyone.
I don't think I said that. Maybe I did. I'm starting to trip over my words now as well.
I just said mow over. I'm like, I hope you didn't.
There's a chance of doing that in a wheelchair, I gotta say.
True that.
I've mowed over a few people in my time.
Yeah.
They didn't need their legs. We don't.
No, exactly right.
Anyway, yes, people of Japan. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have subscribed to our podcast since meeting us, so shout out to you guys. Wow. The kindness of the Japanese people, the respect, and just how genuine and lovely they are. I've never been anywhere in the world where you feel guilty for being, if you're not really, really super kind, because everybody else around you is. I mean, we're kind people anyway.
I am super kind, so
we are. Both of us are.
Not an issue I have.
But both of us are mostly. Yeah. I mean, I'm not always kind to you, but
they
they
take it to another level. Like they are the kindest, softest, most gracious.
Yes.
People, they're just
the moment we got there, where there were people hugging us as if they'd known us their whole lives. It's so different, and everybody is so polite and considerate. It's just lovely. It's such a pleasure to be in that country, to be around people that are like that. There's none of there's no one around with sour faces that you feel could punch your lines out at any time or anything. It's a culture of kindness, and everybody seems to want to help everybody out, and it's beautiful to be around. That's
because there's we went to that Buddhist temple while we were over there, and I believe there's a really large amount of the population that are of the Buddhist faith.
Yes.
And like I've said before, I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form, and I'm completely the opposite. But I think if I ever was to be involved, become a religion.
The Adam religion.
Start my own religion. If I ever was to get involved in a religion, or find a faith that was was my bag, it'd probably be some form of Buddhism, I think, because it's
it's a beautiful
it really is.
religion.
Yeah.
Anyway, so shout out to you guys in Japan.
Thank
You're
you.
awesome. We loved you. I can't say enough things, and everyone was only too willing to help and offer support and take over and do things to try and make things easier for us, which is just lovely. People come up in the street and just talk to you, and even when they clearly don't speak a word of English and can obviously see that you're not Japanese, and they would just try their best to try and make some form of conversation with you. It was just lovely.
Yeah, it was.
It was just like, I mean, the one thing about being in Oita with the Oita International Wheelchair Marathon is they're very much used to elite wheelchair athletes being there, but they treat you like superstars. It's an incredible place to be.
I felt famous.
They do. Like people asking for autographs, and it's incredible.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, I think that's us for today.
That is us. We're I've got to go and pick up my boy from school.
Yes. And I have to come with you.
Yeah, you do.
Absolutely.
So thanks for tuning in for another episode. It's been a lot of fun. If you've got any questions,
we were supposed to answer questions that Heather keeps asking us to answer on the podcast, and we've forgotten again.
We might do a live later on or something, or maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll do a live from our phones and get to those, I think.
There's some good questions out there, guys.
Yeah.
Some people have been asking us questions, and following on from episode 1 where we interviewed each other, I think we're going to do a live session with you guys, and we've also got our Japan special coming up soon. We're going to do a really great episode all about Japan, about the race, and about a number of different really cool things that we found out whilst we were over there. So look forward to that one. That's going to come to you on a different day to our normal podcast, but we'll let you know when that's ready to go live. And who have we got next week as a guest? Do we know?
No, not yet. I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Surprise guest next
well,
week,
I like to fly by the seat of my pants and
keep people on their toes, seeing as you don't have any.
Yeah. So if I haven't contacted you, watch out. It's coming.
All right. We will catch you in 2 weeks' time, guys, and have a great time. See ya.
See ya.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode of Two Cripples, One Pair of Legs. As always, we'd like to thank our studio guests for joining us, and of course to the legends at Podfire for making all of this come to life. If you like what you've heard, or even if we've offended the shit out of you, but you still want to hear more, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also check out our Insta page, twocrips.onepairoflegs, and you'll be the first to know when a new episode drops.